we go. Go ahead. You're live.
All right, welcome to the Social Security Influencers Show number 12.
Right.
Thank you. Glad you guys are excited. It's our 12th quarterly show. We started the show in May of 2020. 2020, almost 4 years ago. I'm your host, Al Coseglia. Dante and I are excited to be here. We've been doing these on Saturday afternoons, early bird special comedy. Thank you, Dante Barnett and Superman Productions. Superman offers minority performers opportunities and provides entertainment live and online. And I've done a lot of virtual shows with him, and I'm glad to be a part of this. Today is for old comics. That's right, we're old, but we're funny. So sit back, enjoy the comedy. We've got a great lineup. I mean, fabulous lineup. Some of the best comics in the country from all over the country. We've got Bruce Lipsky, Esley Manning, Tim Ketchersid, Abby November, Bob Say It Fast Giannini, Tim Ketchersid, and Bill Douglas. What a day. What a show. They will make you laugh. Outstanding lineup. Yeah, we're old. I'm 73, damn it. Happy New Year, 2024. Best year ever. Yeah, I say that every year. Happy 2024. My name is Al Coseglia. As I said, it sounds like Alka-Seltzer. Plop, plop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief I is. Just got back from a trip to North Carolina. I did 5 shows in 3 cities and fell down 2 flights of stairs.
Oh.
No laughs before my falls, nonstop laughs after the falls. So I figured out what my superpower is and how to get laughs. That's when everything fails, fall down the stage stairs. And on top of that, I'm in the green room, and they got a full-length mirror there. You know, and you got to look good when you get on stage. And I'm looking at the mirror, and I need to move it. And I move it, and I break it. I break the mirror. 7 years bad luck. At least I'll make it to 80. I've been married twice. I have 100% divorce rate. Good news, I have a girlfriend. That's not the joke. We're going steady. Going steady. What does that mean? At 73, going steady means I don't drop stuff, I don't stagger, and I have a healthy prostate. I'm going steady. Anyway, that's a urination joke. It fails half the time, but thank you for it. I figured all of you would understand that, but I was wrong. Anyway, she's beautiful. She's got short red hair, face of a doll. Well, had the face of a doll. She fell, gashed open her forehead, got stitches and staples. Now I call her Chucky.
Oh. Oh.
Chucky and I had a big fight last week. I mean, big fight. So big a fight. She stormed out of the house carrying her weighted blanket. That's how mad she was. You ever pick up one of those weighted blankets?
Yeah.
She's not coming back. I am half Catholic, half Jewish, all guilt. Like a pizza bagel. You know, my mother was Jewish, my father was Italian, like a pizza bagel, like part anchovy, part lox, part ciabatta, part ow. Love those words. Yeah, 73. You know, old, we're old. I like it, helps to move some phlegm. But I have the perfect makeup for getting mad at things. And I'll tell you what I'm mad about. I am mad about being short. I'm sick of it. And tall people, they think they're funny, right? You ask a tall person, did you play basketball? No, they don't say no. They say, oh, did you play miniature golf? Well, up yours, man. And then, think about it. There are no anti-tall phrases in the English language. Zero. None. Anti-short phrases? Think about it. Short change, short fall, short tempered, short will, short changed, short end of the stick. You shorted me. You're one card short of a full deck. So stop profiling short people. The only thing we're not is tall. And boycott Randy Newman. You know Randy Newman? You know him. Yeah. Oh, short people got no reason to live. Yeah, he's a bigot. Cancel him. Thank you. I feel better. Thank you very much. I'm Al Coseglia. Peace out. Let's get on with this wonderful show this afternoon. We got it coming to us from he's a big star. Coming to us from New York. Movies, theater, comedy. He's a big star. Here he is. Bruce Lipsky.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. SSI. Great to be here. I know I qualify for the SSI. I just turned 68 years old last week. Amazing. 68. Wow. And I was reflecting back when I was younger, and I remember the days on Friday nights, I used to go to bars. I used to do those Jello shots.
Mhm.
Lately, the only thing I'm doing is gel knee shots. It's gotten so bad that even my fine china is bone on bone. And lately, my wife has been getting on my case. She said to me, Bruce, lately when I talk to you, you don't seem to be paying attention to me. You have loss of hearing? I said, no, honey, I got loss of listening.
Mm.
It's difficult. We just celebrated 40 years of wedded bliss, 40 years of marriage. But lately, sex in my house is just like my savings account. There's very little interest. And everybody says marriage is a wonderful institution. So is the Bellevue Sanitarium. And in my house, I'm trying to spice things up. Things are like Watergate in my house. Every time I want to do an investigation, my wife goes deep undercover. So I said to my wife, let's do something different. Let's do some role play. Let's play some secret agent games. So I said to her, honey, you can call me James, as in James Bondage. And she looked at me and says, you can call me Dr. No. Dr. No fucking way. Not easy, man. Let me tell you, this life, I tell you, everybody says when you get older, your skin gets thinner, which is kind of ridiculous because after 40 years of marriage, I developed a much thicker skin. But now that I'm 68 years old, I looked in the mirror the other day. I look like a rusted old 56 Buick. This body is totally shot out of alignment. My rear end is making funny sounds. My hose is leaking. And my ball joints have all dried out. I said, oh, I better get Mako. Mako says, oh, no, you better get Medicare. Used to be in my house, if I had a leak, I'd call my plumber. Now, I call my urologist. And it's $50 cheaper. I remember those nights going to Studio 54 in New York City, getting on that dance floor, meeting a woman and go bust a move. Now I'm afraid to take my wife dancing. I may bust a hip. And everything has changed in my life. Everything is double these days. My vision, my chin, my wife's indemnity policy. It's getting tougher. And I'm starting to forget things. I swear my foam mattress has a better memory than I do. Remember, also when I was younger, I used to do a lot of traveling. I was an international traveler. Paris, London, Hong Kong. Now when I travel, I only travel incontinent. I'll tell you. Tough getting older. I used to have a full head of hair. I used to part my hair. Now my hair's just departed. And I remember using a product to keep my hair stiff called Vitalis. Now, if I want to keep things stiff, I depend on Cialis. And I also was a photography buff. I used to develop my film using my Polaroid. Now, at my age, the only thing I'm developing are hemorrhoids. As I mentioned, 40 years of wetted blisters. Oh, wetted bliss, I should say. I'm sorry. Okay. Wonderful lady. She really tries hard. Sometimes she really gets on my case. You know, the other day she said to me, she said, Bruce, I cook and clean everybody in the house. You think I'm running a 5-star restaurant here? I said, apparently you are, because every time you cook, I have reservations. It's not easy, but she does try hard. As I said, we had a party the other day, and she served finger food. I said, honey, these things are delicious. But next time you got to clip the nails. She got so mad, she gave me the finger. And the other day, my wife actually had to go to the doctor. She hasn't been feeling well. So she went for a series of tests. In 1 week, she had a CAT scan and a PET scan. I said, what's next? Check for fleas?
Oh,
I tell you, she got so mad at me. And when I said that, and then I said to her, you know, you got mad at me. Maybe the doctor should check you for, you know, for some other types of diseases here. Like, you know, craziness. I don't know what to test for anymore. And she said, maybe he should test you for foot and mouth disease. Seems to do that all the time. I tell you. And, you know, I have an elderly father. I don't talk about him. They're 93 years old. 93. He called me the other day. He said, Bruce, guess what? I just opened up a new comedy club in my neighborhood. I said, Dad, that's fantastic. What do they call it? He said, Stand Up MRI. I'm worried about him. He went to his doctor recently for his annual physical. His doctor called me. I said, Mr. Lipsky, I have some concerns about your dad. He just showed up to my office carrying a small chair. I said, you asked him why? He said, yeah. He said, that was his stool sample. I said, it kind of makes sense because lately he's been complaining of hard stools. I just hope I don't inherit his hard stool. But the doctor said, you better get him to the hospital because I'm really worried about him. So I took him to the hospital for some testing. And we're in the elevator in the hospital, and this technician wheels in this machine with all these tubes and hoses. My father looked at him and says, Mister, you're not going to hook me up to that machine today, are you? The guy says, I hope not for your sake. It's a carpet cleaner. Boy, oh boy. But my father, you know, as I said, 93 years old, he always was a philosopher. I remember he told me one time, he said, Bruce, you should always put your best foot forward. But who knew my best foot forward would have the gout? And my other best foot forward wound up in my mouth. It's not easy, man. That's not easy. But I tell you, I'm fortunate in that respect. And, you know, as I said, my wife and I like to do a lot of things together. And, but my wife also, over this course of time, has got really hooked on Amazon shopping. Because we get so many packages, it just reads on my front porch as a loading dock. I got boxes stacked up to the roof. I'm afraid to pull any out. It's like playing a game of Jenga for giants. You know, I'm constantly going from the first floor up and down, up and down. I'm like a personal delivery monkey. She calls me her Amazon primate. And now I'm really worried because the other day she put big letters in our driveway, painted it, reserved for UPS. I'm starting to wonder, is she having an affair with the UPS guy? Because every time he comes over, she's always bragging about how big his package is. Now she's paying extra for backdoor delivery. I'm starting to wonder if my fulfillment center is lacking. I know what Brown's doing for her, but what's he doing for me? And now she's into fantasy role play. She handed me a box, and in the box was brown shorts, construction boots, and a clipboard. Now, anytime I have sex, I got to sign for it. This is making my family life miserable. The only some miles in my house now on those cardboard boxes. But I'll tell you, we do love doing things together. We love sharing. Nice dinners, Broadway shows, the UPS guy. Thank you. My name is Bruce Lipsky. Continue
All
on.
right, let's hear it
Thank you.
for Bruce Lipsky. I love Bruce because he uses phrases I haven't heard in years. Mako, the car painter, right? They paint cars. And Vitalis. Who knows Vitalis?
except this crowd here.
I love it. I love it. All right, we're going to Vermont, beautiful Vermont. This woman is a spy novel author, recognized around the world, comedian, wonderful person. Here she is, Esley Manning.
So, hi, everybody. Yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you, Alan. Yes, of course, I do write spy thrillers. See, I always liked all my life creating wild and improbable stories and getting people to believe that something that's really impossible could be true. I also wanted to earn my living doing that. So I became a lawyer. I was a lawyer for 25 years and I did what everyone in the legal profession really wants to do. I made money and I got the fuck out. Now I write thrillers and I sometimes perform stand up. Doesn't sound like the two have much in common, but to be successful at either, you have to know how to kill. It can be problematic when I mix up the different kinds of killing. Because when you leave actual dead bodies on a comedy stage, it gets awkward. So I got into stand-up after having written 2 books and before I had a publisher. I watched The Amazing Mrs. Maisel about how a loud Jewish woman did a drunken rant on stage about her husband leaving her and became a comedy star. And I said, hey, I'm a woman, I'm loud, I'm Jewish. Sure, my husband hasn't left me, but I can fix that. Besides, I was tired of writing books and getting no recognition and making no money. I thought it was time to perform comedy and get no recognition and make no money. Then there was a time element. So to give you an idea, it takes me about a year to write a book, then several months to send it to publishers and agents, and a couple more months, before I get the emails back saying you suck. Stand-up is a lot more efficient. I spend maybe half a day writing a bit, I practice it a little bit, get up on stage and perform, and instantly, I know I suck. Okay, so like Al said, yeah, I live in Vermont. It's a state that has more cows than people. I used to live in New Jersey, a state that has more petroplants than people.
That's right.
In Vermont, I live in the country with no neighbors in sight, and at least not in my sight, because I hide anytime I see them. In New Jersey, well, I used to live in Trenton, and it's not much of a town, but the suburbs are nice. I had a nice house, a nice yard, nice neighbors who'd come over anytime they'd see me and chat. And that's one of the reasons I moved to Vermont. I hate chatting. But don't come to Vermont. It's a terrible state, really. It's cold. It snows from August 1st to July 1st. And the 1 month we have decent weather, that's when the bugs and the bears come out, and they're hard to tell apart because they're about the same size and they both want to eat you. Remember dial-up internet, AOL? This shows you you're really old. That's fast internet in Vermont. It's really bad. Don't come, don't visit, and for God's sake, don't buy any property here. I've been giving that talk to a lot of people, and then I ask them at the end, did I convince you? And they always say, no. Fuck. Because one of the things I like about Vermont is the people who aren't there. Which fully entitles me to be pissed off when people from New York and New Jersey start flooding in. And yeah, okay, I moved here from New Jersey, but I'm the one making the rules. And it's not that just the numbers either. There's a whole different attitude between people from Vermont and people from New Jersey and New York. Vermont drivers, when there's a crosswalk and there's a little old lady going across it, they do something remarkable. They stop. New York and New Jersey drivers, they see a crosswalk with an old lady in it, it's a challenge. There's not a lot of people in Vermont, but the people who are there are nice. Of course, I'm not, but I get to make the rules. Okay, so changing the subject a little. Whenever I go to a party lately, I always ask if anybody got a good night's sleep. And I'm asking it for two reasons. Because one, to find out who's a liar. And second, to find out who has really good drugs. Because the only one getting good sleep these days are people with drugs, in which case I want the name of the dealer. No one in America sleeps anymore. No one, nobody, not without heavy drugs. And I keep reading articles about how just one night's poor sleep can destroy your brain. We have a whole country where no one sleeps. They're on their phone, they're on the internet, they're on the TV. And that explains a lot about the last few years, doesn't it? So recently, my doctor told me to sleep 7 hours a night to avoid getting Alzheimer's. That worked well. I haven't slept since. I just lie in bed saying, Alzheimer's, Alzheimer's. I'm really, really afraid of Alzheimer's. It's one of two things I'm most afraid of. I tell you the other thing, but I forget. So here's the thing about sleep. It's a little like sex. The harder you try to get any, the less likely it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, and by the way, why is having sex sometimes described as sleeping together? Because if you're with a hot guy, and by the way, at my age, any guy still breathing is hot, and you get into bed and you go to sleep, you kind of miss the point. Then again, at my age, after saying, hey, what do you think, of giving meaningful looks, I mean, we don't actually say you want to fuck because that's too direct. People my age believe in subtle signs for sex, except for Abby, of course. And that may be another reason why people my age don't have sex that much. But assuming you actually get the signals right and you get undressed, which is harder than you think when you can't bend over to untie your shoes, and then taking all your pills, which for the guy includes Viagra, and then waiting for it to take effect, and then getting into bed, you've forgotten what you wanted to do, if not how to do it. And that's all for me. I'm Esley Manning. Thanks for having me here, and go buy my books.
All right, let's hear it for Esley Manning. I think the newest book is Nerve Attack, so go buy it. And there's a whole series out there. She's a big-time writer. Let's hear it for Esley Manning. Wonderful stuff. Thank you. Dementia. I want to mention this about dementia. If you know you forgot stuff, you don't have dementia. It's that simple. All right, let's get him up. Oh, he's been recognized. I'm so excited. He's been recognized as the one. He's in the top 10 up and coming comics in Dallas Fort Worth. Yeah, he's an old fucker, but he's still up and coming. Here he is, Tim Ketchersid.
All right, Tim.
Thanks, Al. Thanks, Al. I obviously I'm spending a bunch of time on Zoom. It's crazy that little webcam, it adds like 6 inches to my forehead. It makes it look like my eyebrows and my hairline are social distancing. Or maybe something that Gandalf cursed. Hair shall not grow here or here. On these calls, I'm clickbait for people with a thing for cone heads. I don't know about y'all, but I find myself looking at myself on some of these calls, and I started to realize I'm getting a turkey neck. I mean, I knew there was a jiggle when I jogged, but I thought it was these. Looks like male pattern baldness isn't the only thing I'm going to inherit from mother. Weird. Recently, I'm on a call and the host muted my video. I don't know if you've had this happen before. I'm assuming people were distracted by the funhouse forehead. Possibly the turkey flap, the the email from the HR lady said it was the sports bra. Okay, first of all, it was a tank top. I mean, come on, people. Looks like I'm also going to inherit a C cup from mother. This time last year, my wife and I were on a cruise. It was weird. It was a little bit like being on a floated assisted living center. We got to the port, we walked into the terminal, and it looked like we may have walked into some sort of medical supply flea market. Or maybe we got in line to see a miracle healer. I mean, it was practically every passenger getting on that boat had some sort of durable medical equipment that they were bringing on with them, a walker, a wheelchair, an oxygen tank. The thing that surprised me the most was how many people had these electric chairs. You know the thing I'm talking about? It looks like a tricycle and a Vespa had a baby. Has the basket on the front and the golf flag on the back. I think they may be really go-karts for geezers. That's kind of where it kind of landed with me on this boat. I don't know whether you know it or not, but these jazzy carts, these little rascals, they have backup beepers on them, which are worse than useless because the only people who would benefit from it can't hear it. We get on this boat and it has this big theater, and down in the theater, they actually have parking spaces for these things. It's crazy. When the show is over, it sounded like a dump truck convention letting out. Everybody backing out of that joint. One of the things that surprised me was the most popular station on the buffet line was a fountain that served different flavors of Ensure. It was crazy. We go out to the pool, and can we all just agree that if you qualify to be in the AARP, you should not be seen in public in a Speedo or a two-piece? Can we just agree on that? I mean, come on. I don't know if art imitates life or not, but I can tell you that butterfly tattoos definitely migrate south for the winter. I saw several that these things were not meant for public consumption. Oh man. So I'm sitting there judging everybody like a good Christian, I mean, inebriated, entitled, demanding, overweight. It was just crazy. In a word, old. I mean, if I had just one word to describe the typical person on this boat, it would be old. And I was having fun doing it until I realized I'm on this boat. It's like, oh man. All of a sudden, this boat became like this magic mirror that was revealing to me what other people experience when they see me. So by the time we get off the boat, I've got two things left on my bucket list. One was to be nice, and the other was to lose 50 pounds. I do struggle with my weight. And I've got this friend, Dylan. He's the kind of guy who reads one article in Men's Health magazine, and all of a sudden he's an expert. Drives me crazy. Dude, I'm telling you, all you gotta do is eat more meals more often. It'll boost your metabolism and the pounds will just melt away. Seriously? Is that right? I mean, the reason we have so many fat kids in America is because they're not eating often enough? Is that what's happening? Oh, Dylan, I don't know what to do. Our fifth grader is 4'10" and he weighs 220 pounds. His body's in starvation mode. You should be getting him a Happy Meal on the way home from school. I mean, I'm convinced this guy thinks that Taylor Swift looks like that because she's getting more meals more often. It's ridiculous. Is it weird that I lie about how much I've eaten on a calorie counting app that only I can see? Is that weird? I mean, who am I lying to? Oh, you're lying to yourself. No, it's like I've got a bunch of different people living inside of me. I mean, I think Socrates may have actually said, know thyself. I mean, there is the glutton me who could pound a family-sized bag of Cheetos like it's a Costco sample cup. Oh yeah, that's a good start. But let me see here. I got 2 episodes left on this season of Cheers. I think I'll have me a bowl of chili and some powdered donuts. There's the poser me who cooks the books like Bernie Madoff. Okay, let's see. One serving of Cheetos, one bag, one serving. And I think I'll give myself 15 minutes of light exercise. I mean, I was sweating and short of breath, but there's the flat earther who somehow thinks that what the poser records trumps what the glutton actually ate. I read on Facebook where Cheetos are just empty calories. I don't even know why you're putting anything down, but just to be safe, I guess. I told my therapist, I'm afraid I've got multiple personality disorder. She's like, you're not really smart enough to have multiple personality disorder. You're messed up, but it's just the one personality. That's it for me, Al. Thanks so much
All
for
right,
having me.
let's hear it for him.
Dante.
Tim Ketchersid. Tim, I think Tim deserves some credit. He mentioned Gandalf from the Lord of the Rings. I mean, holy shit. Then he goes on to use Plato in a joke. What is going on?
I didn't have any math jokes, so
And then he did a Southern accent. Holy cow. He's bringing out all the stops today. Let's hear it for him. Tim Ketchersid. Thank you, Tim.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to the West Coast to beautiful San Diego. And this beautiful comedian, we love her. Here she is, Dr. Abby. Here you go.
Yeah.
Well, I look very suntan, don't I? Never get the lighting right. Anyway, it's good to be here, wherever I am in cyberspace. And I want to tell you, I am a doctor. I can't cut up people anymore. Not that I was that kind of doctor, but the wrong part of the body was operated on. I paid for plastic surgery, but some people, you can't please people. What can I say? They're all fetching and complaining. But I have to say, not like Sandy, who was a real international star, gorgeous, younger than me, but who's counting, author. My book has been flying off the shelves of Bones and Nipples. So if you go to your local Bones and Nipples and you don't find Dr. November's book, Lube It or Lose It, Sexuality from Puberty Until Your Plots, you can order it on Amazon and it's under $10. Now, can you go wrong for $10 unless you're a cheap bastard like some people I know? But that's neither here nor there. Now, that's my book. I'm working on part 2 and part 3, but this Lube It or Lose It, the most important thing that you're going to find in that book is the section 3 of lubrication. Lubrication. The problem with America is we're unlubricated. Unlubricated. The whole country is unlubricated. And Dr. Abby will tell you in the book, don't waste money on Astroglide, Riplens, KY, Vaseline, jelly. Use natural products like lard. Why not? It's plentiful in the deep south. All you have to do is heat it up, put it in a baby bathtub, and then submerge all your nooks and crannies in the liquid lard. Boy, you will be so lubricated, and it's cheap. And whatever's left over, Bruce, makes very flaky pie crust. If you're Italian like Al, you're half Italian, half Jewish, you're in trouble. But if you're Italian, use olive oil. And it's good, too, for your hair, Bruce. You could rub it on your head. It may make hair grow someplace anyway. And then, because I'm kosher, I'm Jewish, if you have a problem with that, I'd say go F***K yourself. Because I'm not a slut like some of these comics that's use dirty words. But I recommend schmaltz. There's a few of you that know what that is. It's a real secret ingredient, chicken fat. I'd say heat it up, put it in that baby bathtub, and immerse those nooks and crannies in schmaltz, liquid chicken fat. And whatever's left over, chicken fat makes great chicken soup. Throw in a matzo ball, some noodles, carrots for vitamin A. And you know how chicken soup is natural penicillin. Well, I recommend that heartily. So save your money on those other products. But what I'm doing now, since I'm elderly and I'm almost 80, can you believe it? I look pretty hot for an old bag, right? I still got it working, but I'm not talking about that because this is the science portion of the show. My next book is 60 Sexy Tips for Seniors for Safe Sex, because we're all out to cock. We're old farts here. That's not an uncommon word, by the way. Flatulence is a natural product of living, and you all express gas or have flatulent moments. I know while Dante is sitting there, he's expelling gas one way or the other, but this is very important. So the next one is the book on the elderly, on the not elderly, but the Americans of a certain age. And I also give them the tips on lubrication. But number one of my tips is please lock your wheelchair or your walker. Don't start any sexual activity in an unlocked unit because you'll be slipping and sliding and it won't be fun and it won't be lubricated. And my book for kids is I'm working on in the spring. It's The Stork Didn't Bring You. And I'm just saying that because I don't think the kids today who are always on social media have a good knowledge of safe sex procedures and safe sex, period. So Dr. Abby is going to make sure that, and that's going to be very serious. Okay, so I'm old. Do you know that when I was just starting school, I'm so old that there were only 4 elements on the periodic table: earth, wind, fire, chicken soup. And now they're over. Well, where's my is he here? The best science teacher in the world.
118.
Okay, you're 18.
118.
118.
118. That's how many we have now, and still looking for more. What can I tell you? And I have grandchildren now. And who is the one that's married for 40 years? One of my colleagues up there. I'm married 58 years to the same person. I don't have Al's transcripted. Same. And what's my secret? Separate toilets. Saves many marriages. Let me tell you, separate toilets. And he's deaf and I have hearing aids, so that's great. The problem is the man is a retired professor, 50 years. And I'm not telling you the topic. It's something that's they call the dismal science, but I'm not telling you what it is. But don't fret. He lectures me every day, Sandy. He tells me I'm not loading the dishwasher right. This is the correct way to do it. I'm not doing the taxes correctly. I got an A in accounting. And I'm not doing this. And this is what the news is. And that's why I take out my hearing aids. But I love him. He was my soulmate. I saw him on a date, and I said, I want some of that. I really do. But now, folks, that I'm old, I have Social Security sex. Get a little bit each month, but it ain't enough to live on. Sayonara, everybody. Be
All
well.
right, let's hear it for Dr. Abby coming to us from San Diego. Love
Abby.
Dr. Abby. She's been wonderful on my show. I got to say though, I'm going to take it a step further from just separate toilets. I think the key to a good marriage. I know none of you believe me because of my track record, which Abby has pointed out, but the secret to a good marriage is not only separate toilets, but having the separate toilet in another domicile. That's a good marriage.
That's good. That's
All
good.
right, let's go back to New England. Here he is, the very funny, very, very funny. Bob, say it fast, Giannini.
Yeah, Bob.
Yeah. Wouldn't you know it? When I start, the sun comes out. It's like now you can't. Now I'm blinded by the sun. Hey, folks, I just want to let you know that I have a birthday on Monday,
Woo.
Nice.
Right.
February 5th. I just want to let you know that today I went to my mailbox and I got a birthday card from my septic company. It says, "Happy birthday, warm wishes." Warm wishes from At First Whiff, Call Cliff. What a
Oh,
great name for a septic company, don't you think? I want to let you folks know, anybody who's watching this, that my comedy set is a lot like British soccer. A lot of flopping, you know. And Al, I did some research before I started this, and Al and Tim also. Did you guys know that the word Dallas is actually a Latin word that loosely translates to fuck Fort Worth?
We did know that.
Did you know that? Interesting, huh? Yeah. Oh, Sandy's want to let you know I was in the law. I also work in the law, and it always reminds me of an old attorney who once told me, you know, and he said, "Listen, Bob," he goes, "if you want justice, go to a hooker, okay? And if you want to get fucked, you go to court." In fact, I tattooed that on my ass. But nice to be here. 32 degrees here on the
oh,
Yeah, the weather person said it's 32, but it's going to feel like 23. I was like, wow. Folks, wouldn't it be great if we could all talk like meteorologists in real life? You know, like you'll go to work tomorrow on Monday and say, "Hey, Dave, I think I want to go home." Go home. What are you talking about? It's only 1 o'clock. Yeah, but it feels like 5. Gotta go home and watch Judge Judy. But it's nice. I like doing. I haven't done an online one in a while. Last night I had a show at a nursing home, but it was one of those nice nursing homes because all the women there were breastfeeding. I did a show recently, and I swear to God, there was a cricket in the comedy room. There was a cricket. Yeah, they go. You talk about telegraphing your punches. They did a show with a cricket on the other side of the room. Told my friend, he goes, "How was the show?" I go, "Show was all right, but there was crickets in the room." He goes, "Well, I couldn't have been that bad." I go, "No, it was a cricket in the room." Yeah. Like I said, I come from Massachusetts, you know, where our state capital is Boston, our state flower is the Mayflower, and our state bird is Larry. Yeah. A lot of people say around here, they go, "You know, Boston is the best city in the country." I go, "You know, it is, you know, unless you've been to other cities." When anybody's ever been to the city, Boston, I always recommend that. So you should drive around because we have a lot of really nice parks here in the city. You know, like we have Franklin Park, we have Fenway Park, we have Nowhere to Fucking Park. It's always a good one. And that's always right next to it. It's $50 to park. It's always a good spot. I work with a bunch of attorneys every day, and one guy the other day, he goes, "Listen," he goes, "Hey, Bob," he was making fun of my accent. He goes, "Hey, Bob," he goes, "After work, do you drive to Southie and grab a beer?" And I go, "Man, listen, I don't talk like that." I go, "Besides, I'll take an Uber." You know, I was listening to Ron DeSantis the other day on the news, and he says, you know, that the people in Boston and New York, you know, they're all moving to Florida to get away from their woke policies. And I go, really? Geez, I thought we all moved to Florida because it was fucking hot there. Yeah. I told, hey, Ron, you got this policy down there called, it's called the Don't Say Gay bill. You guys heard about this? It's a, you can't talk about gay people. Yeah. Only down in the South, you know? Imagine being in a school for that. I was like, hey, kids, sorry, but we can't talk about gay people, okay? But the good news is that you folks can still sleep with your cousins. Only down the South. Oh, ran into an old girlfriend of mine recently at a bar, and we had a few drinks, and we were getting really honest with each other. And she admitted to me that that she used to fake her orgasms with me. So I says, well, listen, I had to tell her the truth. I go, well, you know, that's nothing. I used to fake my own premature ejaculations. Just watching the news, there was the international gymnastics competition, and then this Russian guy won the men's tournament. And when he got on the podium, he kept talking about Russian war superiority over Ukraine. And I go, yeah, this is great, you know, because I was thinking to myself, yeah, nothing says Russian superiority like a guy wearing a leotard. I like that one. I'm sorry. I kind of, I like I'm just liking my own shit. Yeah. So I bought it, and he said that he asked me if I wanted to go see the band Chicago down at Mohegan Sun down in Connecticut, you know, and I was like, listen, why would you want to go see Chicago? I looked it up, and I only have one original member in the band, Chicago. I go, listen, I'm not going to go. And the only original member was the guy who played the trumpet, you know. And I was like, listen, I'm not going to spend $100 to go see the one guy in the band that never got laid. Like I like on all these old guys are all touring now. They're all getting totally out of shape, you know. Like what is Guns N' Roses? Remember Guns N' Roses?
Yeah.
Because I mean, Axl Rose now. Axl Rose is so fat now that he needs Axl grease just to walk across the stage. You know, forget Welcome to the Jungle. It's more like Welcome to the All You Can Eat Buffet there, Axl. I just saw a concert on TV with the Crosby, Stills, and Nash reunited. I go, man, these guys are so fat now. They look like Crosby, Stills, and mashed potatoes. Because that one didn't work out so well. Yeah, let's see. You know, I don't have much time left. Tough year for the Patriots or Patriots fans. You know, we're so used to winning here that they had a really lousy season that they had to change the phone number of a Gillette Stadium to a suicide hotline.
Oh,
All right, that's my time. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, let's hear it for him.
Yeah,
Bob Giannini, great stuff, Bob. You always make me laugh. But I got to tell you though, if you're going to bring, you know, I have a degree in entomology, right? If you're going to bring up crickets, then you need to identify the cricket. Was it a field cricket? Was it a brown cricket? I mean, what the fuck was it? And no jokes about the breakdown lane. I was very disappointed. All right, let's hear it for him. Bob Giannini. Way to go, Bob. Good stuff. All right, we're closing out the show with our closer. He's our resident middle school science teacher. He's very, very funny. Here he is, coming to us from Concord, New Hampshire, Bill Douglas.
All right. Thank you very much, Al. I've been teaching middle school science, like Al said, for 37 years. And I worry about the state of public education. Like, take the school bus driver shortage. I mean, can they even reach the gas pedals? As a teacher, I also worry about the attention spans of today's youth. When I do shows for young audiences, I shorten my one-liners to one-worders. Uranus. Guess you had to be there. Sixth graders always ask why they need to learn science, but the truth is science explains our lives. Like you must remember Newton's first law of motion. A body at rest remains at rest until his wife hands him a snow shovel. Sure. Yeah. And if you don't appreciate science, you are liable to fall prey to pseudoscience. Got together with an old friend. She swears she can read minds. I said, hey, you know what? She said, no, what? I said, I thought so. Broad. There's a lot of questionable science out there. A lot of questionable science. Like essential oils. Imagine going to Jiffy Lube and they ask, conventional or synthetic? And you're like, how about lavender? Nothing but the best for my baby. Why are people surprised that virtual learning is not as effective as live learning? Virtual means not real. You know? Would you order the virtual T-bone at the steakhouse? No, virtual sex could be interesting. I've been led to believe that there are plenty of hot singles in my area looking to mingle. But would virtual condoms protect my computer from the virus I'm about to get if I click this link? Last weekend, I met a childhood friend in Rhode Island. I drove 2 hours. He took a train 3 hours. I said, this is so exciting. We're finally trying that math story problem from 8th grade. Yeah. Growing up, I always had a one-upping. Like when he got a Lego set, I got a bigger one. When he got a dirt bike, I got a bigger one. When he got a girlfriend, I got more Legos. I did not get girlfriends of any size, but not from lack of trying. I had open enrollment, but he's a big animal rights guy, but not like an extremist. And he was reading me some ridiculous posts he's seen on Facebook, like PETA wants to replace Puxatawny Phil with a gold coin. And he said, I'm all for settling things with a coin toss, but then they'd have to remake that classic Bill Murray movie. He said, well, listen to this one. Some guy claims that animal rights groups are breaking into restaurants, stealing frog legs, and reattaching them to their bodies. He's like, could you imagine the tiny sutures they need? I said, nah, they probably just use rivets. Finally, he showed me a video of his favorite musician. I don't know if Bob knows him, Michael Cleveland. He said, dude, check this guy out. He's blind and deaf in one ear. I said, big deal. I'm blind in both ears. Been fighting with my insurance company over my hearing aids. Abby can probably relate. They're not covering them, even though they said they would. At least I think that's what I heard. Why do we call it fighting with insurance? What's the fight? 12 rounds of please hold. Some insurance companies are more intimidating than others. Like I don't want to fight Allstate's mayhem guy, Band-Aids all over his face, ripping doors off SUVs. And somehow I'm even more afraid of Flo from Progressive. What's under that white apron?
Mm-hmm.
Probably more real estate I can't satisfy. I no hate on the emu, but I'd like to body slam whoever came up with those Limu, Emo, Liberty Mutual commercials. Anybody else? Oh my God. So I accidentally opened one of my neighbor's letters. Now, I remember as a kid, I heard that opening someone else's mail was a federal crime. Can you imagine? Federal lockup, the worst of the worst. Kidnappers, murderers, letter openers. You mess with me, I'll cut the tag off your mattress. Monster. No, but you can use this knowledge to save money on divorce. Start by making an omelet for your partner. Once you're ready to pour it in the pan, call her in. Honey, I got eggs all over my hands. Could you please open that letter over there? And as soon as she tears open a corner, you're like, Okay, boys, come on in. We got her. Take her away. But I keep getting letters for Capital One. I don't think it's possible to be pre-selected. I mean, before you're selected, you're not selected. In April, hundreds of college football players are going to be drafted in the NFL. So does that mean currently every college football player has been pre-selected? My neighbor's granddaughter has been pre-selected for Little Champs Learning Center. Her granddaughter's not due till March. Whoever said honesty is the best policy is a liar. On the way to her friend's wedding, my wife told me to pay attention, act interested. A group of us were talking at the reception. My wife said, "The bride looked beautiful, didn't she?" And she looked right at me. I said, "What?" I was going to say the bride looked asymmetrical because one shoulder was definitely higher than the other. But no, I guess I'd go with beautiful. I visited a friend who runs a dude ranch. Every time I saw a guy, I wanted to yell, "Dude!" Anyway, my friend wanted to take me out with the horses and try bareback riding. I said I sunburned too easily for that.
Oh.
We couldn't find my grandmother at the senior center. So my brother went looking for her. 5 minutes later, he found her. I said, "Let me guess, the game room." He said, "Bingo." My wife and I went out to eat, and I could not stop staring at the server's super long sideburns. He described the lamb special, but I wasn't listening. I said, "No thanks, but your mutton chops look great." And finally, I volunteered to spruce up the community rock garden, but I was lazy. I left many stones unturned. Thank you very much.
All right, let's hear it for him. Bill Douglas. And Bill, this is for your friend Ham. Shagadelic, baby.
What was it?
Shagadelic, baby.
Shagadelic, yeah. My hearing aids.
It's Austin Powers. His friend says I look like Austin Powers. Okay. Fuck all of you. It was a great show anyway. It really was. You guys were fabulous. Let's hear it for Abby November, Bob Giannini, S. Lee Manning, Tim Ketchersid, Bill Douglas, Bruce Lipsky, and thank you to Dante Barnett, Superman Productions. What a great show. You guys were all fabulous. Thank you very much.
Thanks
Have
for
a great
having us.
weekend.
Dante.
God bless. Good to see you.